Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Kanini Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to have you on board on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. This fine morning, I'm very delighted to have Professor Herman Manyora with me here. Prof, how are you?
Wonderful.
Yeah. The president is out of the country once again, at least after being grounded within for some sort of 2 months. So
Let him get fresh air. It's good to get fresh. I mean, why do you think people want to become presidents? You want to become president so they can also enjoy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let him travel a bit.
Now, do you think that perhaps whatever grounded the president in the country has actually been solved, and that is why he's found some sort of relief and ready to get on air once again?
It depends on how you look at it. If you think there are no demonstrations and therefore everything is okay, fine. But for those of us who look beyond the headlines, we know inside the pages there is trouble.
Okay.
There's this just a lull. So if there is a problem, you can give it a painkiller, you know, something soothing, or you can deal with it. So this is a problem that is still around with us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's begin with his stint, of course, his stay in the country. It's quite unfortunate that we would be here discussing the number of times, or rather the period with which the president was in the country. But do you think that perhaps it gave him some sort of a time to set his house in order and make the country run actually on the right trajectory?
There are a number of things that happened cut out of the Gen Z demonstrations or revolutions, I choose to call it. One of them is that the president must have realized he was fighting too many wars. Number one on the cards, the war with Gachagua. He must have realized it was not necessary.
Yes.
And it was going to eat into his time, the time he needed to address these issues of the Gen Zs. So you can see he was able to patch up with Rigathi Gachagua. And the animosity that had been brewing between the president and Gachagua sort of went down. Obviously, we can see there's a difference. So
Has it really gone down?
Yeah, it has gone down, noticeably, yes. There is talk that, in fact, MPs who are in State House from Mount Kenya were being told to forget about the impeachment of Gachagua. I don't know whether that is true, but at least we can see from observation that the war between the president and the deputy is not where it was. In fact, they have been moving together in Mount Kenya. And you can see Gachagua even has accepted Raila Odinga into the fold. That is a testimony of the fact that the president must have realized you cannot be fighting Rigathi Gachagua and fighting the Gen Zs at the same time. Another thing was there had been a simmering problem between the president and the former president. We were meant to understand that the government was not treating Uhuru Kenyatta well. Politically, we could see there was some form of harassment directed at his mother, at his farm, or family farm in Northlands. There was the harassment, if you wish, of his son in Karen, and so on and so on. But more prominently was the fact that the government had refused to give him his retirement benefits in the manner prescribed by the Constitution. The law states that if somebody retires as head of state in this country, they will get so much, they'll be entitled to this. That was a problem. So I think now those have been sorted. So yes, and within the political system itself, there has been some tweaking here and there, realignment here and there, recalibration here and there. He has brought Raila into government, and therefore, so those guys, he has done quite a lot to solve the problem. Yeah.
There are certain quarters who believe that Raila has played a very vital role in terms of quelling the tensions that were within the country and actually aiding in the kind of perhaps the atmosphere that the president currently has found himself in, and now that things are a little bit calm. Do you think that Raila was somehow significant towards saving William Ruto, so to say?
Of course. You can imagine where we would be today if Raila was not with Ruto. From last year, not just about Gen Z. We're going back to the demonstrations of 2023. And if they didn't get to talk, the efforts by Olusegun Obasanjo and other people that brought them together, that led to the NADICO, the Bomas talks. If Raila had not talked to Ruto, I don't think we would be having this country the way we have it now. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the way in which Raila has helped Ruto significantly. And you can see the rewards are coming in fast and furious in terms of the 6 appointments to cabinet, if you include the AG, that is. In terms of, I hear the principal secretaries are coming on the way, and Raila is going to harvest a good number of principal secretaries, ambassadors, heads of prostatal, and so on and so forth.
You talked of 6 appointments. So far, the 4, or definitely we know those who are directly ODM members.
We know there are 6.
Then
the first 4 plus the lady from Turkana. That's a Raila person, ODM person. Dani.
Miss Moy, the one.
So those are 5 plus the AG. Of course, we are not. The mere fact that Dorcas is a Luo would lead people to think she's a Raila harvest, but it may not be the case.
Is she?
She's a professional in her own right. I've always been very unhappy the way she has been bypassed over the years.
Why are you trying to connect the AG's appointment as well?
But that's what people are saying. We are talking politics. And in the political speak, that's what people are saying.
Okay.
Yeah, they are saying this. She might as well have been, but one will also argue how come she has been bypassed all these years when she was more deserving than any of the people who were given.
Okay.
All the time she was bypassed, she was more deserving than any of the people who were given. Even when she went for DPP, she was not given.
So in terms of meritocracy, putting aside
of course,
politics,
Dorcas is more than qualified for AG, for the DPP, and for anything, including judge of the High Court. She's more than qualified. She's been around. I saw her when she was a girl.
Okay.
She's been doing a sterling job from the time she was a young girl. She's more than qualified. But you say because she's Luo, or the name is Luo, I don't know that she's Luo, people conclude that Raila has 6 slots already. Even Gachagua, he has about 7. Who tells you all of those are Gachagua people?
Okay.
Even when Uhuru appointed Rotich, people said Rotich was Ruto's man because he was Kalenjin. But the insiders told us, no, Rotich was a Uhuru person. Sometimes those are some of the things we go through. The assumptions we make. Yeah.
So the fact that somebody comes from a specific tribe doesn't necessarily mean that they may be allied to certain individuals.
Yes.
Okay, now people have questioned Railas' actions at this particular moment in time, especially with regards to the Gen Z demonstrations. But of course, we witnessed that after he came on board, the demonstrations simmered and seemingly things are getting back on track. Do you think that maybe Raila made the right decision, or could he be vindicated somehow? Because finally we are seeing some sort of a ray of hope and peace in the country.
Politics is a game of perceptions. The perception this time round is that Raila is a traitor. He has betrayed the cause. I listened to it yesterday or the other day. Eugene Omalo in Thika asking people to okoe Kenya ama to okoe Zakayo. So the perception that Raila stepped into the game to save Ruto. And to the extent that people believe Ruto is not doing a very good job, then they are saying, Raila, why are you saving a person we want to get rid of? So that perception really doesn't work in favor of Raila. Yeah. The historians will tell us when they write the history whether Raila was right or not. Yeah. Yes.
And from your view, then, how best should he have handled this?
My opinion has been simple, because I knew Raila was going to annoy many Kenyans. He was going to come out as a traitor. He was going to come out as somebody who had betrayed the cause and the people. The people are going to side the many people who died, the many people who are injured, the mourning families, the losses in property and jobs and what have you. And they were going to wonder, why did Raila do this? So if I had been Raila's advisor, I would have told him to be a little more cautious. I would have advised Raila to work with Ruto behind the scenes.
That's something that you've said.
Yeah.
Times without number here.
But since I'm not his advisor, those who advise him or his own counsel, he thought that's the best way. But the danger with this is that it can eat all that you have made and worked for and stood for. Everything that Raila has worked for and stood for can go down. Because history is very unfair, very sometimes uncaring about any good you could have done. Once you do bad, history will record that and even forget the good. Okay. Shakespeare said it. The evil that men do lives after them. Live after them. The good lives after them. And the evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. That's Mark Antony and Julius Caesar by Shakespeare. Which is to say, the good things are easily forgotten. It's the bad one that will be remembered. So Raila should, if I was his advice, I would have given my story I was given by Shadrach. May God rest his soul. He must have died. He was an old man many years ago. He was my teacher when I was in class 1 to 3. He never came to class. He will come. I never knew those days why he was taking too much water. Kumbe alikuwa amepiga vitu zake the whole night. Sasa akikuja under the tree maji tu na kutuambia stories. The kazi yake ilikuwa kutuambia stories when you were in class 1. And this one story he told me is about a friend who sends his son on a long journey to go and visit his friend.
Okay.
So I send my son to go and visit my friend. So the son arrives there and he's welcomed like a really son to a really friend. And what was he given? The very good meal, but meal made of flies. You know flies? Flies, inzi. That was what he was served with. So now he's being escorted after a day or two. So the man asks him, when you go back, what will you tell my friend? Oh, I was treated well. Oh, in fact, I was given flies to eat. No, come back a bit. Come back a bit. So no, we have forgotten. So come back. No, utaenda kesho. Then they slaughter chicken for him. Nice done. Then they escort him the following day. Oh, again the same question. Oh, I ate flies. Mpaka wakachinja mpaka na ng'ombe. Every time they were escorting him, he will say he ate flies, then let chicken, then mbuzi, then... You know what I'm trying to say? That's what I would have advised Raila. Anytime you do something wrong, people concentrate on that more than the good you have done. So he's likely to end his political career on a very bad note. All the legacy he would have had to his name may go down the drain. So I would have advised him to help Ruto, but do so in a way that doesn't bring him out as a traitor. Yeah.
Well, Raila has been described as a political chess master, and I know we've had conversations with you here, and I believe you wouldn't agree more. But then here we are. Do you believe that for the first time he made a wrong move?
There's only the taste of the pudding is in the eating.
Yeah?
There is only one way Raila can vindicate himself. If he eventually becomes president. Then he will tell people, I knew what I was doing.
Somebody would say that is far-fetched.
No, Raila can still become president. Why not?
Okay.
If he became president, if he becomes president, everything else will be forgotten. People say, kumbe it was a game. Vile aliingia KANU watu walikasirika, baadaye aliposaidia Moi alipoenda nyumbani akasema Jogo alimeza tractor. Tractor kumbe ilikuwa ijazimwa. Ikaendelea dudududu ndani ya tumbo ya Jogo. So if he does that, if he can become president, and I'm not putting it beyond him, then all these things can be forgotten and it will have a place in history. But because that is the only thing he can do.
Okay.
To salvage his name. Nothing short of that. All these other things he can do, he can give people jobs. He can do all the good things. He can save the country from chaos. But people will always view him as a traitor.
Okay, let's look at what we are facing here currently. As we speak, of course, the AU, that is what at least we can talk about right now, leaving alone the presidency issue. Then here we are. Africa is like a home for us here. And then Kenya is just but one of the houses in that particular home. So this particular house is burning. How then do you want to lead an entire home when your own house is on fire?
Those are some of the questions people are raising. But, you know, how can you help Africa and you can't help Kenya? But this is politics. The politics doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way. Yes.
So then it would mean that if at all you had decided to go the other way, the antagonistic way, then and refuse to engage with the president, then automatically he would have to sacrifice his AU bid as well. And
But
then purely focus on what
fine, but what does
AU?
AU mean to Raila? It's not a very important thing. He has said as much. I'm not the one saying. What is AU to Raila? AU as we know it, the AUC chair as we know it, that's a small job. Yeah.
Okay, so Raila.
But I know a man like Raila can go and change it and transform it to become a job people can even want to leave being president to become that. Because Raila has a capacity to change it. But as it stands, the way it is, it's not a matter of life and death for Raila. Secondly, I'm not so sure about the rules. I'm not so sure the country must sponsor you. It's not a must.
You're not so sure.
So he could go as Raila Odinga, not as a Kenyan candidate. You just need to get like Museveni to propose your name. Yeah, and that's it. So it is a chance for East African region. He only needed one East African country to propose his name.
Without the support of the government?
Yeah. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding. I haven't engaged so much on it, but my understanding is that you don't have to get the support of your country. So long as you can get another country to support you, to give you it will be a little awkward.
But of course, your country's support is very crucial and very important.
Of course, your country support, because these things are involving. They are involving, even financially. There's a lot of diplomacy there, and so at the state level. There are certain things you can't do as an individual. But Raila is not an individual. Raila is an institution. So it can be difficult for any other candidate. But if Raila really wanted this thing, he would get it without the support of Ruto. I mean, in fact, sometimes even the support of Ruto brings some baggage with it. Yeah. Some of the countries he has antagonized, like Sudan, like DRC, they may not vote for Raila on the basis of the Ruto treatment of those countries. Yeah.
So here we are, the president, of course, he's talked to Raila, he's brought him on board, he's talked about the broad-based government, rather, cabinet, so to say. Here we are, do you then think that from now henceforth, we may witness some sort of significant change in terms of how our governance issues are run in this country?
I do not believe that by bringing in the so-called broad-based ministers or government, you are solving anything. No. There's something wrong with the system. It is a systemic problem which you can only address in a broader way. By bringing a few individuals, you have not changed the way things are run. For example, if the president is hands-in, not even hands-on, and he runs the show, so what do you benefit by bringing a few people from ODM? If the president will still do everything. I understand appointments, even simple appointments, ministers can make. Somebody, so I don't know, I want to mention his name, I might be going to him for a job. Unless he sanctions, actually he makes those appointments himself.
Okay.
So, if that doesn't change, so what benefit do you bring on board?
You always told me here that you cannot solve governance issues without solving the political issues at hand.
But is the political issue solved?
What then do you mean?
Patching up is not solving an issue.
Okay.
Kuwekelea viraka.
You said patching up is not solving an issue.
The Kenyan body politic, the Kenyan nation is not breathing.
Okay.
It has been strangled. you have to find out why is it strong na utoe so that the Kenyan system can breathe.
Okay.
From 1963, we are not breathing. Tumeshikwa ko. The politics is not right. We have to make the politics right for all these other things to work. Yeah.
Okay. Well and good, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a conversation on what is currently taking place in the country. You can weigh in and tell us what you actually think on the current happenings within this country. Allow me to stop at this particular moment till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.
Okinyi.